This is called wintergreen, also known as tea berry, and a number of other names. But the leaves and the berries are edible, and they have the flavor of wintergreen. That's originally where the wintergreen flavor was used for candles, for bubblegum, for liquor, for a number of things, but now that's produced synthetically. But this makes a really good, healthful, tasteful tea with the leaves or even the berries. You can make a pie out of the berries too. And I just found a patch here. I'm going to pick some of it. There's one right here. There's some more right here. Some more right here. Right here. Right there. Now is the time when you want to be picking this, because that's when it has, after you have a few frosts, is when it has the most flavor to it. And it's spread out here. It's not a real thick patch, but it's found all around here. So I'm going to pick some. It has the active ingredient in it that's found in aspirin, that gives you the pain relief capabilities of aspirin. So if you didn't have any aspirin and you needed to reduce a fever, or you had different aches and pains, you could just make a tea from the leaves of the berries from this, and it has the same effect as aspirin. Here's a few I just picked in a matter of a couple minutes. Not even really, just about a minute. The other thing I wanted to mention was that this wintergreen, it's got many names. Tea berry is another one of the names. It was used by the Mohawk Indians as a healthful drink that they drank regularly. But it's kind of rare to find them still with the berries on it this time of year, because the berries the other animals love to eat it, like deer, to grouse, to pheasants, to chipmunks, to squirrels. All kind of animals love to eat these berries. But I managed to find some with the berries still on them. A lot of those ferns that look like that sword ferns I was talking about in the last video, where the tubers are edible and can be roasted to make a coffee substitute. These things here, you see them all over the place. They look like small little tiny pine trees. Well, it's actually a moss. It's called the ground cedar. And it's actually a moss. It's an ancient moss back around, like even before the dinosaurs were around. These used to be huge, like as big as trees, but now they're small. But it's the most in this whole forest. It's the most ancient plant that's in this forest, and it's an ancient moss. And at the top of it, you see that little spore pod. The spores are collected in the late fall, or they were collected in the late fall, back when, like, the pharmaceutical industry didn't have chemicals to keep pills from sticking together. They used to use the spores from this ancient moss to keep the pills from sticking together. And it does have other properties to it, like pyrotechnic properties, that it's used in movie making for different pyrotechnic effects and stuff like that. The spores actually have certain pyrotechnic abilities, and so it's still used today. It's used like modern day witches will use it as like a witch's kind of dust, where they throw it up into the air and they'll make a spark and it'll light it and make a big flash. And that's the same way that it's used in movies for pyrotechnic effects. But like I said, originally it was used to keep pills from sticking together, the spores. And they're found all over the place around here. Little tiny, looks like little pine trees, but it's actually a very ancient moss called the ground cedar. So you see them all over the place? They actually have a root system that you can pull up and you can use as a natural cordage. You let it dry out and it works as a pretty good natural cordage, the roots do. Nothing about it is edible, but like I said, the spores were used to coat medications.